Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's speakers, and I wanted to bring to your attention the latest assignment that will go live later on this evening. It is a group project where you and the members of your group will be working on a few things with the topic of why is mindfulness or why is movement important in schools. And I wanted to go through each of these links and show you what you will see. And right now, this link is active. When I click on this, this is the document that you will see, and I'll go through each of these. Up at the top, it kind of gives you an idea of what I just said about it's a group project. You're going to have a topic of either movement or mindfulness, and just a kind of a confirmation again, or restate or state for the first time that everyone's expected to contribute equally, and once you and your group members hash out times and divvy up jobs, definitely please take your job and your role seriously, and know that your group members are counting on you to do your part to ensure the success of the entire group. With that being said, you have these links. So if you're in the 9:30 section, you're going to use this link. If you're in the 11 o'clock section, you'll use this link. And what I'm asking everyone to do is to enter in your first and last name, and then you will each be assigned to a group number. And if you're in groups 1 through 3, you will have the topic of movement. And if you're in groups 4 through 6, you will have mindfulness. So what I would do is I would come in here and I would type my name in the first block. I would tab over and select what group I have been assigned to. Enter my email, cell phone number if you're comfortable doing that, and then your preferred method of contact. Use the drop-down arrow for that. And that way, once everybody's information is in there, you can quickly start a group chat or email chain, something so that you can start figuring out when you all can take some time to discuss this and what's going to work best for the members of the group. The next part, part 1, so this is kind of a multi-part project. The first part is for you to do some research and to get into the VCU library system and find a minimum of 5 relatively current resources that support why movement should be included into the school day for children, and or mindfulness if the topic that you have is mindfulness. I'm asking that you, again, a minimum of 5 sources. If you want to use the Spark text, that's fine as one of your sources. And then just keep in mind that the audience for your presentation portion of this project will be your fellow colleagues. I'm working on trying to invite some classroom teachers, administrators into our presentation date of April 26th. And allow them the time and space to give you some feedback on your presentation. But just think of this as you've asked your principal to give you about 10 minutes during a faculty meeting that feel very passionate about this topic, and you would like to see if other people in the school would be willing to take some action. So you'll get about 10 minutes. The second part of your presentation will be the presentation of a children's book that you and your group members will write, illustrate, narrate. And what that means is, depending on your topic, you will either do an active children's book or a guided mindfulness book for a specific age. You can choose if you want it more for kindergarten, like the lower elementary or upper elementary. As a group, you can decide that, so you've got the freedom to decide the audience that you feel your book would best be suited for. And use, so you'll write and illustrate this book, and you can do this in Google Slides, or you can use like a PowerPoint, but ultimately what we're going to do is you'll download your book as a PDF, and then someone will use like a platform like I'm using, Screencast-O-Matic, which is, there's a link right here for you to get into that, and I'll click on that in a minute. And someone in the group will need to narrate, Lord have mercy, the book and the idea, and then you'll upload that to YouTube, and you'll create a YouTube link. And what we'll do with this is we'll have the book as a PDF, and we'll also have the YouTube link of one of you reading, so that a child can push play with the link, or a parent, teacher, guardian can download the book and read it, or the teacher can read that with the students, and the students can follow along with the movement. So the intention is, as they're reading, that parts of the story require or ask the children to do something, and I'm going to show you examples. Right here it says, for example, you may want to write about two people or animals out for a walk. While they're out for their walk, they might come up to a big puddle and they need to jump across the puddle. So various things, and I really want you to just be creative and use your imagination. Animals, aliens, whatever you want it to be. This is how we're going to connect and earn our service learning time, because the time and effort that you put into this is going to be pretty substantial. And then we have a resource that we can share with our elementary school partners, and the teachers can use that, or they can share the links with family members. I've provided some other information about your book. It should be around 15 pages. If it's a half page less or a page and a half more, that's okay if it strengthens the book. As I'm reading the book, it really shouldn't take more than 5 to 7 minutes to go through. So this is more of like a brain boost, and I liked how Stevie this morning used the term academic accelerator. So for that, and this gives you the information I shared just a minute ago. The final book will be submitted as a PDF along with your YouTube link. Those will be also shared in Canvas and in a Google document. Down here, I've given you some links to kind of some tips and pointers for creating children's books. But I want to come back up to, before I show you some examples, Screencast-O-Matic. If you were to click on this link, you can set up a free account, and that's what I have. It gives you up to 15 minutes of recording time. The only thing that you need to record is the children's active book. You don't have to do a recording of your presentation. If I come here to resources, it says watch tutorials. I feel like it's fairly user-friendly. You just, you select record, you choose how big of a frame you want for the screen to capture, and you can choose to have yourself visible or not visible. Right now I have myself visible, but I mean it's pretty user friendly, and like I said, they've got some tutorials. I have given you 2 links. So this is the link to the presentations and books that the students in the J term created, and then also in the fall of 2020. So I'll click on the J term. This is the same exact document. I just made a copy of it that you will use. So based on who's in your group, you'll give me a presentation link. This is where we'll go for presentation day. We can pull up the presentations and go from there. So you've got the link to the presentation. Then we'll have the name of your active book, a link to the PDF file of the book. Again, that's so that if the teacher wanted to download that and use that, or just screen share, they would have that option. Or you've got the YouTube link with someone narrating. So I'm going to clip out of that, or click out of that. Let's see. Johnny and Jenny go to the jungle. So you really have the option to just kind of click around on each of these. And I've also given you, sorry for the clicking down. These are, so you have a ton of examples to look at, and definitely I do not want you to copy at all, and I don't think that you will, but this is relaxing with ocean friends, but I would encourage you to just click on some of these and kind of read through and or listen to the narration. One of the things that, as far as feedback to groups, is that for each of the activities or exercises or movements that you want the students to do as they go through, so it says here, cross your legs, close your eyes, try not to make a sound. Let's first picture the ocean with waves crashing all around. And so it goes through here. I'm going to find a different example so that you can understand what I mean. Let's see, a day at the zoo. This one might be a good one. That one I don't have access to. Get my mouse over there. Okay, so this story is about going on an adventure. So Jackson walks through his neighborhood until he finds a path in the forest. He begins walking on this path in search of something fun. So here, what you would say is, okay, let's all walk in place like we're getting ready to start the adventure. We're going to walk in place for 5 seconds. And then you would say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go to the next page. As Jackson is walking, a river appears in the middle of the path. I guess I have to swim across, Jackson exclaims. Reach your arms out like a swimmer and do 5 forward arm circles. And then you, as the narrator, would say, okay, let's do our swimming motions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. So you can, if you have yourself, the webcam on you, you can actually do the motions or have a video of someone else. If you're really tech savvy, you can actually insert that video clip. But the main idea is that, so here in red it says put your hands in circles and use your binoculars hands to look for the dinosaurs for 10 seconds. So you definitely want to say, okay, let's put our binoculars on. And you as the teacher would say, okay, let's look around. 10, 9, 8, 7. So with energy and enthusiasm. But definitely as you're reading, you want to count out the movement. So there's no question of when the movement starts and when the movement ends. Even with when you're doing the mindfulness, you want to do the same thing. Some of these projects, the groups did a great job with that. And then some of them would have gotten the feedback that definitely they need to either slow down or there's too much time. You really want to practice this and think through as the reader, as the student, what would be a good amount of time to do a specific movement. And there was this one, the Finding My Quiet. This one is so good. So I hope you'll stumble upon this. It's all about Franklin needing to go to school and getting frustrated because his little brother is getting all the attention and he's working so hard to just get himself dressed and make his bed and brush his teeth. And then, let's see, Cam crashed into Franklin and made his orange juice spill. And then, so here you can see his body language. He's just not having a good day. And that brings me to the point that I don't think I did share is if you have artistic ability and you want to illustrate these by hand, oh my gosh, please do that. And then you would just take a picture and insert that picture onto the slide. If your group is not artistic at all and you want to use clip art, that's also fine. So I'll get out of that. I've already, like I said, this is in Canvas for you. It will come live at 9 o'clock tonight. And the last thing I'll say before I'm going to stop the recording is that there is a link to the rubric so that you have that. But this will be really fun. I'll get the groups situated soon, so when you go into Canvas, you'll see that. But read through everything before you have a ton of questions, and hopefully this will be fun for everyone.